Hey guys, it's Spinda again. I haven't been streaming at all lately because I've been obsessed with playing the new Mario 3D All-Stars game. Non-stop playing it since midnight of September 18th, which was my birthday. Now I am old. I mean, when I was younger I thought by now I'd feel old, actually, but I don't, which is surprising. Anyway, I'm sure all you crazy kiddos out there are all obsessed with this game called Super Smash Bros. Melee. But how often do you ask yourself what the creators of the game think of it? Maybe not what they think of it now, but rather what was going through their minds when the game was in development. I mean, they programmed the game with a ton of detail and intent, right? Masahiro Sakurai did spend an ungodly amount of time in a row working on the game under a suffocating deadline. I think it's weird how a lot of games made under these kinds of stresses become the ones that we fall so deeply in love with. Sakurai has a lot of interviews throughout the years where people ask him questions about Melee tournaments. And the further back you go, the more harsh they seem to get, but these days he seems to be at peace with the scene as a whole. Though if you're a competitive player, you might not give a single fuck about things like the official name of Mario's neutral air attack. Hell, there seems to be more people playing Melee today that don't know you can't grab Giga Bowser than people who have ever played single-player mode. I mean, there's so many interesting things about Melee that we have come to discover, and the game is so deep due to all the resources we have now to pick it apart that maybe, just maybe, we've forgotten the true roots of the game. Nintendo did have a specific idea for what the game should be when it was released. So what better way to find out than through the official Nintendo Power strategy guide? If you don't know what Nintendo Power is, first of all, that definitely makes me feel old. Second of all, it was a magazine series you could buy a subscription to that ran from July 1988 all the way until December 2012. This means that you would get a new issue with a simple monthly subscription. Every single Nintendo game released during that era had a strategy guide made for it. It was so popular that just about every rivaling game company began producing their own strategy guides. Some of them are really weird, like the ones where you flip it upside down and the opposite side is another game released at a similar time by that same company. I mean, I guess it's a good way to cram more into strategy guides, but come on. I took awful care of some of my old booklets because I was a brainless child. Here's a picture of what I did to the Sonic Heroes guide. Yeah, I only have a handful of these, yet they're so awesome to me. So let's take a look at the Melee strategy guide. I don't actually own it, by the way. I borrowed it from my really good Luigi player friend. You might have heard of him before. Though I do need to mention, I found out somebody scanned and uploaded a high-quality PDF of this entire guide online. I put a link into the description if you want to check it out for yourself. I mean, there's some really neat stuff in there, so I would highly recommend it. So now that you know what Nintendo Power is, you might be on the edge of your seat. What kind of strategies did Nintendo have in mind for Melee? What could they have possibly thought of their own game? Well, let's start with some team compositions. Yeah, that's right. There's official team compositions that Nintendo claims will give you great results. Team 1, Ganondorf and Mewtwo. Yeah, when I think of a good team's character, I think Mewtwo. My friends always say that they have to be a good team because they both have the Dark Aura. Mewtwo's Disable attack is always devastating, but when it's combined with Ganondorf's Warlock Punch, it's a knockout. Normally, Ganondorf has a hard time pulling off the Warlock Punch, because it takes a bit of time to use. But when Mewtwo steps in to disable the opponent, Ganondorf doesn't have to pull his punches. Work on your timing until you can pull the moves off right after the other. Damn, they really make this a convincing argument if you think about it. I bet nobody today has ever thought of playing Ganondorf and Mewtwo on the same team. I hope if Slippy ever gets teams compatibility, I can finally witness someone land Disable to Warlock Punch as a team combo. I mean, what if a team made that their signature thing? It would be the official Nintendo team strategy. Team 2, Link and Samus. You and your partner will definitely have to work on the timing of this combo. It's very effective and worth the effort. Don't worry, I believe you. Use Link's normal up plus A attack, or his up tilt, or charge it to a smash attack to send the opponent high into the air. Samus is waiting on a higher platform. Oh, okay, that would have been good to know, first of all. How am I gonna cheese the other team if I don't know to play on a platform stage? When the enemy reaches Samus's level, shoot the charge shot at him or her. I mean, it's not bad advice, but any character with a good up smash would be good at doing this in theory, Nintendo. You should have just said Samus is a godlike teams character. It doesn't matter who she teams with. Team 3, Roy and Pikachu. Roy's Blazer attack sends opponents flying high into the air. Use it, then allow Pikachu to take Roy's place. Quickly use Thunder to attack the opponent while he or she is still airborne. If you and your partner can pull the switch off fast enough, Pikachu's Thunder will hit the opponent when he or she is still very high in the air. If the Thunder hits high enough, the opponent will be sent flying off the stage. You know, I've actually tried this team out before, and it's not bad. Nintendo really got this one right. I recommend Team 3 over any other team composition so far. Finally, we have Team 4, Marth and Roy. They're really selling Roy as a good, strong teams character, aren't they? Catch an opponent between Marth and Roy to give him or her a double dose of Sword Fury. Shit, they're making this sound fucking awesome. The opponent will not be able to escape the assault for a short time and should take a bit of damage. Make sure each partner practices with his swordsman. Their strongest attacks are very different. Of course, you could also use 2 Roys or 2 Marths, or Link and Young Link instead. I'm glad they're really putting emphasis on a double dose of Sword Fury for being strong in this game. Marth and Roy is a shit team combo, unfortunately. The recoveries just suck so bad, and there's too much startup for them to be good teams characters. A good try in making it sound cool, Nintendo. This shit is just so interesting to me. They had these great ideas in their head that some characters were supposed to be team specialists or something, and some were good at fighting multiple opponents at once. It is definitely a smack in the face to remember that Smash is essentially a sandbox fighting game where you make up your own rules. We just chose to make them as competitively fair as possible. But if I were to make a Melee Strategy Guide strategy tier list for competitive players, Roy and Pikachu might be the best advice they give you. There's so much information in this guide, by the way. I just spent all that time on one fucking page. Moving on to some of the more niche parts of the game, there's a secret unofficial website out there that somehow still exists dedicated to preserving the move names of each character as given out in this strategy guide, including this weird-ass graph of what the character's strengths are. I still can't figure out what the fuck usage is supposed to represent. I'll leave a link to that in the description, but I will warn you, it's definitely an early 2000s fan project that has aged poorly. It also uses Angel Fire. Some links only work sometimes, but I assure you, this is the exact same information as from the Nintendo Power Guide. It's not just some made-up fake bullshit. There's even official descriptions for each character attempting to tell you how good they are. Okay, I lied a little. The descriptions are fan-made. I mean, Fox's is when Fox McCloud is not flying his R-Wing or taking on the dangers of Dinosaur Planet. He's dazzling his fighting foes with lightning-fast moves. Star Fox Adventures came out after Melee, so there's no way this could have been printed out in Nintendo. Oh my god, they actually did that. I am so sorry, unofficial fan site. The competitive community has given its own names to certain characters' moves, so let's see how accurate they really are. Alright, Captain Falcon. His knee is actually called Knee Smash, so I guess we weren't far off with that one. His down air, Stomp, is the step on it. He's actually got some pretty cool move names for what it's worth. Dash Attack is the Turbo Shoulder. Damn, we should really start calling it that. Sounds like some sweet wrestling move. Not sure why it says he's only 3 out of 5 in weight. He's definitely on the heavier side of characters in Melee. Oh, and Falcon's got 3 out of 5 usage, whatever that means. Fox and Falco are actually boring as hell. In the days of old, people called their forward air the Flutter Hush, but it's really just Tornado Kick and Cyclone Kick. McCloud Flip is a pretty dope sounding move though. Fox's back throw is the Skeet Blaster. Again, they both got shit usage, still can't figure it out. Mario has some really interesting ones. His usage is 5 out of 5 according to Nintendo. Seriously, what the hell does that mean? Anyway, Mario's forward air is the Plunger. Now that's a cool name for a cool finisher. Wow, they think Pikachu fucking sucks in this game. Look at these stats! If I read that as a kid, I'd never touch Pikachu again on the character select screen. Some more creative names here, but they're no plunger. Bowser. They love to tell you Bowser is good. Watch out, guys. Bowser's gonna hit you with the buzzsaw. I highly recommend you read through some of this yourself, actually. Whenever the official strategy guide got brought out at Smash Fest, we would always spend at least an hour just going through and reading it. It's got a great sense of humor, too. I mean, just look at some of these stage descriptions. Well, that was fun, even though some of it felt like I was reading a storybook. I might make more videos about stuff like this in the future, because it's so easy to forget where we come from in Smash. I guess some people don't have the same casual experience with the game anymore. The competitive scene is just so massive and accessible these days. People don't have to fight Kirbys who jump under Corneria and spam the taunt button anymore. They also don't have a younger sister who insists to play Pichu on Termina Bay and crouch on the rock, pretending to be a washed-up Pokemon taking a nap on the beach. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'm gonna go back to laying perfectly horizontal while playing Mario Sunshine on a handheld system.